Greetings and welcome to the Pampering Myself podcast. I'm your host, Pam Jones, aka Jonesy. Our mission is to empower women in every facet of life, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Join us as we explore self-care, personal growth, and holistic wellness, inspiring you to embrace your journey and nurture your inner strength. So grab your favorite snack or beverage, snuggle up in your favorite chair, and relax, because every woman deserves a little pampering. Welcome to our first episode of 2025. I hope you enjoyed the holidays with family and friends and looking forward to what the new year has in store. Traditionally, the new year is a time when we set goals or make resolutions in hope of a better life. But the media is already suggesting that some of us have already faltered. Hopefully that's not you, but if it is, don't be discouraged. Every day is another opportunity to try again. Margaret Thatcher once said, "You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it." And I'm sure we all can agree. So today, we're diving into the wacky world of mindset and how it shapes our lives, a lesson many of us have learned. So let's chat about why understanding mindset is so important for reaching our goals or sticking with our resolutions. You see, our mindset shapes how we think and act, and it really affects how we go after what it is we want. When we know what our mindset is like, we can spot any of those limiting beliefs that might be holding us back. So awareness is key, because it lets us shift our perspective and tackle those challenges in a more positive way. Plus, we understand our mindset better. We can build resilience. That means when things don't go our way, we don't just give up. We keep pushing forward. According to my research, there are two types of mindset: fixed and growth. Individuals with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities, intelligence, and talents are stagnant traits, meaning they can't be changed. They often avoid challenges, give up easy, and may even feel threatened by the success of others, leading to a fear of failure. In contrast, those with a growth mindset view their abilities and intelligence as qualities that can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning. They embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see failures as opportunities for growth. So, growth mindset fosters resilience and a love for learning. Do you see the difference? In reality, there are times we question our abilities or receive unfavorable feedback or fail at something in spite of having a growth mindset. Because having a growth mindset doesn't necessarily mean you'll always succeed. It's what you learn and how you handle your failures that foster that growth mindset. I'll give you an example. Math was never one of my strong suits. It was actually a class that I dreaded. Truth be told, I struggled all through grade school. So when I was forced, and I say forced, to take a few math class and accounting classes in college, I avoided those classes like a plague until the very last minute, because I still had that mindset based on past experience that I was going to struggle. And that it was just something difficult I didn't want to face. Seeing as I couldn't avoid them if I wanted the degree, I had to change my mindset and come up with a plan to make it easier for me to get through those courses. And I did. But having a negative mindset can significantly influence various aspects of our lives. Henry Ford said it best: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Although grade school, I told myself math was a problem, and it was. But once I decided I had to change my mindset and find a resolve, it no longer was an issue. If you believe you can achieve something, you're likely to put in the effort, remain optimistic, and persist through those challenges. On the other hand, if you think you can't, you may become discouraged, avoid taking risks, and miss opportunities which can lead to failure. Essentially, our perception and attitudes play a critical role in deterring what we can accomplish. Having a growth-oriented mindset encourages us to take risks, to be open to feedback, to embrace it, and learn from our experiences. All of these things are super important for making progress. So when we get a handle on our mindset, we really empower ourselves to take charge of our journey and move closer to achieving our goals. Isn't that what we want to do in 2025? So here are a few reasons why someone might need a shift or how they can benefit from a change in mindset. Number one, to overcome limiting beliefs, which are assumptions and perceptions that constrain or hinder you for achieving goals, such as past experiences, like the issue I had with math in grade school, cultural influences, negative self-talk, all which could lead you to feeling inadequate and incapable. A second reason might be a shift to a growth mindset can foster resilience and encourage learning from mistakes by changing the way individuals perceive challenges and setbacks, and understand that failures are a natural part of the learning process and not a reflection of their worth or abilities. Because we do know, no matter how hard we try, we may not always succeed. A mind shift can enhance and reignite motivation, especially when you're feeling stuck or complacent, changing your perspective. And having a flexible mindset is essential for adapting to new circumstances and embracing new opportunities, because we all know it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. Change is gonna come. A mindset shift can lead to increased self-confidence, allowing individuals to take risks and pursue goals. So there are a few reasons why someone might need a shift that could help change you from a fixed to a growth. Not only is mindset a critical step towards personal or professional development, wow, who knew? There are health benefits. A positive mindset can reduce stress and anxiety. And I'm a witness, again, with the math. Stressed out because I have to take these math classes, but once I came up with a resolve, I was no longer stressed and I was able to sail through. Well, maybe sail through, not quite the right word, but I made it, and I didn't just make it. I had a decent grade. A healthy mindset also influences physical health. It's been proven positive thinking can boost the immune system, improve heart health, and enhance overall well-being. It can help you improve relationships with others by encouraging empathy, understanding, and better communication. Isn't that, again, what we all want? A healthy mindset promotes motivation and focus, making it easier to set and achieve personal and professional goals. So when you don't have a lot of stress or worried about a lot of things, a lot of times when you can focus and think clear, then you're more apt to be more productive and not make so many mistakes or to actually accomplish what it is that you want. So the overall quality of life, ultimately, a health mindset contributes to a more fulfilling and satisfying life. It enhances happiness and life satisfaction by promoting a sense of purpose and meaning. Now that we know what a growth mindset is and why it's such an important belief system, you can begin to practice this way of thinking. Everyone has an inner critic voice that tells us we can't do something. It's your fixed mindset persona, and it may sound like this: I can't do it. I don't want to risk it. Why try if it won't change anything? I'm not good enough. I don't believe I can. And the list can go on and on and on. What does yours sound like? Write it down. It may be 1, it may be 2. You may not even be aware of that voice inside of your head that prevents you from either accomplishing your goal or even setting a goal, because we just don't want to believe it. So here's the challenge. First of all, you have to be aware that it happens. So give your persona a name. When that limiting belief comes up and pops up that says you can't do something, give it a name. You can either group it all together or you can give them one name, because believe me, it's really more than one. I chose to group mine together. And when I have a fixed persona coming through that tells me something negative, that I can't do something, I call it oops. Oops. When you find you're doubting yourself, try and identify also what's triggering it. Was it a challenge, a change? Were you criticized? Did you fail at something? You get the picture. It's something that you didn't get quite the way that you wanted. It didn't go the way you wanted it to go. So you may have said, oh, forget it. Maybe you wanted to get those 10,000 steps in and you only got in 7,000. You had an opportunity to get the other ones in, but you're just not in the mood. You don't feel like it, or you don't believe you can. Those are those limiting beliefs. That's an oops for me. You may not always be able to change what happens around you, but you always have a choice of how to respond, react, or view the situation. That is most important. So I'm going to say it again. You may not always be able to change what happens around you, but you always have a choice of how to respond, react, or view the situation. When you catch your fixed mindset persona with a limited thought, ask yourself, what else might be going on? Because there's usually is something else which may cause you to go into deeper thoughts. Here's an example of how to change a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And I'm going to use my math scenario here. So here's my fixed mindset. I struggled with math throughout grade school. I'm just not good at it. And I know that. And I knew that if I had to take a math class, it was going to be rough. And I knew that going in. Now that is a limiting belief. That's a fixed mindset. And that was based on past experiences, because I came up in grade school fearing math, and I carried that right on into college. But a growth mindset would be how to turn it around. I know I struggled with math in the past, but I believe I can improve with a little patience and more practice. I may have to look for additional resources to assure my success. And the action is I may have to go back to basics. I may have to get a elementary school book or a book with answers, or I may have to hire a tutor or do something extra, but I can't be defeated, right? I can't be defeated. I have to learn from my limiting beliefs, and I have to learn from what it is that I fear. Now we can go even further why I had this issue with math, but the point is I had it and I have to get through it. And that's what I did. I had to go back to basics because I had to get through several math classes on top of accounting classes, which really is a math class. And I made it through, and I don't mean I just barely made it through. I made it through because I had to come up with some way of succeeding. So when you hear yourself thinking in a fixed persona, change it. I know I'm saying it as if it's so easy. It may or may not be. You'll notice a fixed mindset persona thinking limited thoughts, and in order to develop a growth mindset, you have to take action, which means changing your fix to growth. And that is something that you will have to figure out once you have identified, because there is a solution. There's a resolve to it. It may not necessarily be one that you are looking for, but you can change that mindset, and you have to change your mindset. Okay, so the number one goal for the new year is to lose weight. That's been my number one New Year's resolution for the past 40 years. Yes, sometimes I'm successful, sometimes not. But I never give up, and I don't beat myself up anymore. I do what I can. I make subtle changes that are leading towards that goal. So as you continue to pursue your dreams or goals in 2025, keep in mind we're all human. And no matter how hard we try, we are not perfect. Remember, it's all about awareness. Start paying attention to your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking you can't do something, pause and ask yourself why. Well, if the person next to me can lose weight, I can too. I just have to work harder or work different or work smarter. Do something different that they may not be doing. Next, you want to embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. Remember, every obstacle is a chance to learn and grow. Also, celebrate your efforts and progress no matter how small, recognizing that hard work leads to improvement that can really help shift your perspective. So, okay, I may not lose 20 pounds in a month, but I have started drinking water more. I've picked up my walking. I've dropped 2 inches off my waist. I'm going to celebrate that because no matter how small, it's something that I have learned to do that will inch me towards my goal. And that's what it's all about. Finally, surround yourself with positive influences, People who inspire you and encourage growth. With practice and a little patience, you can definitely make this shift and unlock your full potential. I know we all want everything here and now because that's the world we live in. Everything to be easy and to be just like that. It's not always that easy. But what's important is that you're trying to make a difference. And in 2025, if you intend to keep your New Year's resolutions or achieve your goals, whatever it might be, don't be the statistic that dropped off in January already. Just make those small steps. I hope you feel inspired to prioritize your well-being and embrace the beauty of self-care. Remember, nurturing yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Until next time, keep pampering yourself and shine bright.